Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Lorissa Violet podcast. I am so excited to have Alex back. Alex is our very first guest, and everyone loved Alex, so we brought her back. Today's also a very exciting day. I'm officially 15 weeks pregnant.
Woo-hoo.
I feel like the little milestones are like exciting, like the weeks,
deal.
like 15 weeks, 16 weeks. So anyways, Alex is back. The reason why I brought Alex back, one, was because we got so much positive feedback about the first episode that we did. And two, recently I've been having so many people come to me on Instagram about how do I organize my life? How do you keep it all together? This isn't just corporate moms. This isn't just stay-at-home moms. This is like everybody. It might be like even just this morning I had a gal reach out to me. She's like, I am not yet a mom, but I work and I have all these hobbies and I do all this stuff. I can't even imagine bringing a baby into this. And I struggle to keep all that together. And then, of course, I do have oftentimes stay-at-home moms who will say, I just can't keep organized. Like I feel like my whole day is kind of like rushed, or my whole week, and then I feel like I got nothing done. Yeah. And then, of course, I have the third group. These are like the three main categories. The third group would be the working moms like us, like working meaning we have a job, like a separate job as well, whatever that job might be, corporate job or something else, some sort of a different business, and then the household to run, still doing mom things. And they will write and say, I need tips for just like how to keep it all together. So, you do this, like this is your jam. Maybe we'll get into this. I don't know how I became good at it. Maybe it'll like come to me, but I don't know if it's the personality that I have, which you might have thoughts on that, or just being organized, forcing myself to be organized, or what. But I don't don't get me wrong. I do have days where I don't have it all together. I'm like, oh, shoot, I didn't plan anything for dinner, and I don't have a plan for eating out. I would say those days are kind of like far and few between. And we also, or I have talked about extensively on other podcasts, the 4 tendencies. So I read the 4 tendencies book by Gretchen Rubin. Upholder, obliger, rebel, questioner, which you did take the quiz, and so I'm going to have you share what you are. So I'm an upholder. Upholder means I can easily and readily meet my inner expectations and my outer expectations. And generally, I think for upholders, we don't make promises that we can't keep, either to ourselves or to other people. So we're good about setting those boundaries. We're good about knowing our capacity. Obliger, meaning you can generally meet, which is the biggest one, like most of the people fall on here. You can follow other people's expectations. So if there's a work commitment or an outside commitment, a friend commitment, whatever it is, you can I don't want to say uphold, but you can kind of meet those expectations. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to your own self, your own needs, your own whatever it is, they kind of fall short. Questioner being you can get it together, but you need to ask a lot of questions around it. Like you need to know the whys and the hows. And a rebel being if you're told what to do, you kind of just shy away from it. Now, those are like super scrappy.
Simplified versions.
Yeah, dumbed down explanations of what those are. But you read the book. You know what you are. But you also do this for a living for businesses and individuals. So take it away. Like, what are your thoughts?
I have a lot of thoughts. So I loved the book. I think it's so helpful. I have clients that fall within each of these tendencies. And while I'd never really thought about them that way, mm-hmm. it absolutely kind of shifts how we implement different systems. So when it comes to getting people organized, because that's like kind of the biggest question you're getting, like, how do I get my life organized? Mm-hmm. I am a huge believer in systems. I just think They are so powerful for so many reasons. I mean, first of all, they reduce the need to make decisions all day. So it frees up more willpower, more mental energy. So you can make decisions about things that are more complex. You can have more discipline. You get less overwhelmed because you have a plan in place for everything. There's a million reasons why systems are important. They're important for businesses. All successful businesses have defined systems and processes that they follow. And the most organized and successful people have the same. You'll notice they have routines, they have ways of managing to-do lists, they follow some sort of system in many areas of their life, so they're not constantly like reinventing the wheel.
Got it.
So.
Yeah. And I think we say this, I say this, is treating your life like a business, and your life, like you and your household, is the most important business that you'll ever run, which makes sense to me because I work in business. But maybe to somebody who doesn't work a corporate job or work in business, like for a stay-at-home mom, that might not resonate. But creating systems does. So talk to me about that. Like when you take on a new client maybe, or just generally speaking, like when you take on, or maybe for you personally, like how you implement that into your own life, starting out systems, what does that look like? Like someone listening today, I want to start, I need to create systems. What does that mean? Where do we start?
It mean?
Yeah.
So regardless of where you are in life, like all three of the examples that you gave today, like whether you're a stay-at-home mom, a working mom, or a woman that is not a mom, if you're feeling unorganized, there's three places I would start, like three systems that I think would change anybody's life. So I can dive into those if you want.
Yes,
so
please.
The first one is a task management system. And this is a place where you house everything that you have to do. And it's not like a physical to-do list, because you could have a sticky note here, a sticky note there. Like it's not always with you. It's not in your head, because that takes up a ton of mental energy. And you're like constantly like, oh, wait, shoot, I forgot to do that. Or I need to make sure I don't forget that. Things drop through the cracks. When you have something, I use Asana. There's other tools like Trello.
Asana.
Have you heard of it?
No.
It's a task management system. So what you do is
like
you can
digital,
set up,
like on your phone or what?
It's on your phone, on your computer.
Okay.
So you always have it with you.
Got it.
And you can structure it in a lot of different ways, but like you can build out projects. So I have all of my tasks in there. I mean, from taking my vitamins every day is in there, because then I can just check it off when I've done it. So I have a really bad memory. So I'll like take my vitamins and then forget and be like, wait, did I take my vitamins or not? So anyway, it's just in there. So I always remember, and it's repeated every day. So I don't have to enter it every day. That's the beauty of having something that's automated, right? Is you can set up recurring reminders.
Okay, so see, I'm big on the writing it down.
I know.
I like it old school, like a pencil in a day planner. But I guess you're right to that point. Am I writing this down every single day? And maybe it just makes it feel more tangible to me when it's written down. I don't know. But that, when you say it that way, that makes more sense when you can kind of check it off. Because I do it written down in a day planner, and I have a whiteboard. And I love looking at my month and knowing, okay, here's what I have to do. And I'll even look at the month, and I've written it out. Like I've done a whiteboard, you know, with my little markers. I'm like, oh, in 2 weeks, I have this event. I need to make sure, have I booked hair and makeup for that event? Have I got an outfit for that event? And I like to see the whole month.
Okay,
what's going on in the month.
I do too. So I always use that view. I think it's very important. So give me like your hair and makeup example. Do you have a day where you say like schedule hair and makeup? Or are you just looking at your month and remembering that you have to schedule hair and makeup?
So I'll look at my month, and usually I will pick a day. Well, like hair and makeup I know has to be done in advance. So if it's like, say, November 1st, and I know that I have an event, like today I have an event and I have my hair and makeup done, that was done earlier in the month. Like I'll do that really early on because I know that's coming up. Like that's something that has to get done. Versus like meal planning, usually I do on Sunday nights. I'll just take a little bit of time. But even that, I'll look at the month and think, oh, Michael's out of town. My husband's out of town on this specific Thursday night. The kids and I will eat out. And I'll kind of plan that in.
Plan it.
But I'm still looking at this month view.
So the view specifically is my second system when you're like planning your week or your month in advance. So I will get into that because I think that's very smart to do and everybody should be doing it. The task management system, though, where I think it could be flawed if you're just using a calendar, is what if things have to shift? Like you're erasing things. Like I have so much detail in my task management system so I don't forget anything. And I will put like everything on just Sunday, for example, that I know that I want to do next week. And then when I start planning for that week, I'll move it around. Like I'll drag and drop and be like, okay, this day works to do this day works to do this. Or when schedules change, like I can make easy adjustments without erasing.
Okay.
And then you can also plan further in advance. So like you can have a whole project built out in Asana where I have a bunch of them. Like one can be like launch an online course, for example, that might have a 6-month runway. So I can have the end date that I plan for, and then I can build out milestones in between and things that I know I need to accomplish between like all the way up until 6 months. So you can plan further in advance too. So there's a lot of benefits. It reminds me of like people that like to read books. Like it's nice, right? Like it has the smell, like you're holding it. Like there's a lot of reasons that you want to read a physical book.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. Of course it is.
I need a physical book. I try to do the Kindle thing. I'm like, it doesn't feel like
it doesn't
in
feel
my
the same.
soul. Yeah.
But if you're going on like a really long trip or like a 3-month vacation or something, and you're like, I'm not going to pack a bunch of hardcover books. And it's like, all right, it makes more sense to have it. Same with the task management system. It's more practical. Like if you think of something when you're at the park with the kids, you don't have to be like, oh, I need to remember
to write it
down. It's just like you quickly add it.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay. And I know you said there's 3 things, task management being one of the 3 things.
Yes.
I'm just kind of drilling down. For someone who, I mean, I'm thinking like, I'm thinking in the mind of a stay-at-home mom, but I guess this could be anybody. If you have a task management system and you're writing down all these things to do, down like as little as taking my vitamins, doing the laundry, all these things. What happens when said thing doesn't get done? A, are you moving it to the next day? And number 2, if you have a laundry list of things to do, my question would be too, what's your guidance on prioritizing those things? Are they listed in your task manager like on time, or are they listed as far as importance?
Well,
does that make sense?
Yes. So they're all done by day. So like I'm not ever just going to have one long to-do list because I'm going to look at it in terms of the day. And so I know like the 5 things that need to get done today. And then I usually order them in terms of priority, and I add them to my calendar based on time if there is like specific time blocks for them.
Got it. Okay.
So that's kind of a challenge with to-do lists is they can get really long and it can feel super overwhelming if you're just looking and then you're like, how do I prioritize? Which is something I work with my clients a lot on, is like figuring out priorities based on what's really important to you, what's truly urgent. Like that's kind of a whole other topic and very important, which comes into your weekly planning, like how you're going to prioritize things. At the end of the day, what I do is I look at Asana and I say, what didn't get done? And usually everything got done because I'm pretty good at this right now. Like I'm pretty good at assigning like and knowing how long things are going to take. But in the beginning, it's like asking yourself, why didn't this get done? Did I overbook myself today? Was I procrastinating because I didn't really want to do this? Like kind of evaluating it and learning from it and then rescheduling it if you decided it's still something that needs to get done, which is nice because you can, again, drag and drop versus like crossing out and adding to it.
Yes. So we talked a little bit about this. As far as like, why didn't this get done? One of this is just a real life example that we talked about. People will ask me often, how do you get both kids by yourself to the grocery store? That just sounds so daunting. That sounds crazy. I don't want to do it. I end up avoiding doing that, et cetera, et cetera. Even for something as little as that, excuse me, I have a plan for that. So for me, I make sure that I go in the morning, just after breakfast, everyone's fed, everyone's content. I park next to the carts because then I can get a cart. I can put, and I even have an order in which I take out the kids. The older baby goes in first because he's not like a wild maniac. He'll sit in the cart. Then the little baby goes in the cart because he's a little antsier. So I have this whole plan. And then even when I get into the grocery store, my kind of, we're not like browsy.
Yeah.
It's like, here's our plan. This is what we need to get done. I already have this written out, the meals and the ingredients. And I'm like, okay, here's our path. And then we're out the door. And then I put the kid, it's like
It's a system.
food goes in, kids go in. It's a system.
Yep.
So even for that, and when I think about the women who reach out to me to say, hey, I can't stay organized. How do you do it? My initial thought would be for basically every little thing like that, are you creating some sort of system?
Do you have a plan?
In a plan to make it easier? And like, how, I guess my question for you would be, for people that are feeling overwhelmed and disorganized, who don't have plans, where do they start? Are there little things? Well, I might be jumping around because we're going to talk about 3. We only got to task management, and now we're jumping around. Am I getting like too far off the topic?
No, I mean, I don't think so. It's all a system, right? Like you're illustrating another system that's really relatable to people. And every little thing you do can be a system. Like for me, in my house, like we're pretty crazy about dishes. Like we always run the dishwasher every single night. And first thing in the morning before we make breakfast, we're unloading the dishwasher. And so we're starting fresh. And so it's not like you're running a load midday and then you have like dirty dishes piling up because you can't like load them into the dishwasher. Or if you have extra that aren't fitting into the dishwasher, like you're hand washing to get it taken care of. So it's little things, but making sure you have a plan. Because the alternative would be like you let dishes pile up. It feels overwhelming. You have to spend a bunch of time cleaning all the dishes.
Yeah.
So
and that might even fall into decision fatigue, where you have a lot of things to do. And then you're like, okay, well, I have laundry piled up and I have dishes piled up and I have these emails to get to. Which one do I do? For like, what, I have 20 minutes. Where am I going to spend my time? And if you don't have a plan around that, then you're like,
then you go on social media.
Yeah, and then you do
that's what happens.
Yeah.
It's like, because you get overwhelmed and you're like, I don't even know where to start. And so you kind of like freeze. Such a common reaction. And then you're like, I don't like this feeling of overwhelm. And so I'm going to now cope with it by taking my mind off it. So I'm going to like scroll social media.
Totally.
Or watch
Which we
TV.
can all relate to.
Oh, yeah.
And speaking of the TV, actually, I'm not a big TV watcher. I literally will just put Gilmore Girls on the background of everything because I don't want to sit and watch TV. But going back to the 4 tendencies, I've read the book, obviously, and I listened to the podcast about the 4 tendencies. A lot of people will pair, so they'll use a pairing mechanism or pairing system. They'll say, oh, I have a show that I'm really looking forward to, and they pair the show with doing dishes, or they pair the show with folding laundry. So at least they're not sitting idly watching. It's like, I'm pairing this with something that needs to get done, which I think could work too for a lot of people.
And that's such a personality. Like, I'm curious if you remember what trait, like what tendency that was. But I know for me, like TV is like a reward. Like I don't watch TV much during the week. It's like a special thing on the weekends. And it's like, okay, I made it to Saturday night. I feel so accomplished. This week went well. Like now my husband and I are going to lay in bed and like watch this show that we really enjoy and just like chill. And so I wouldn't pair that specifically because it's like,
it's different for
my
you.
time. I view it differently.
It's not working time.
Yeah. But like an audiobook, I guess, is something I could relate to in that. Like if I am doing laundry, it's not something I like to do. So I'll listen to an audiobook because I really like to do it.
Oh, heck yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah. Okay,
yeah.
so number 1, this is for everybody. Yes. Number 1, task management system.
Yep.
Number 2?
Number 2 is exactly what you were describing about taking like a step back and viewing your week or your month. I do it every week. And the reason this is so important is because you're like looking ahead at everything that you have planned and you're making sure your calendar is up to date. Like you have all of your different appointments in there, that you have enough time in between appointments. Like if you have to take the kids to soccer practice and then you have a meeting, you can see where there's issues and you can either cancel things or you can ask for help. You can be like, hey, my husband, like I need help getting the kids to soccer, whatever it is. Like making sure that you have a plan. And then if you have a bunch of tasks that need to get accomplished, like things for work or at home, whatever it is, you can kind of layer it into the days so you have a good idea of when you're going to tackle things. A part of this can be meal planning, like when are you going to eat, which days.
Say that's a big one. Yeah.
And a tangible example, actually, because you mentioned this when we talked the other day, birthdays. So like I have a birthday party that I'm going to Saturday. So when I when I planned my week last Friday, I saw that. I'm like, okay, good reminder. So I put in my task management system Monday, buy a birthday gift, and then Thursday, wrap the birthday gift. And then by the time Saturday comes, it's handled.
Yeah, it's done. You
It's
don't
done.
think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it didn't mean like I'm panicking to buy one right before or like
rushing out. And oh my gosh, I got to get tissue paper.
Yeah, my husband's in the car honking, like, let's go.
Yes.
But
it is all of those little things that I think like pile up and just make it. One for me is Wednesday mornings, my kids do nature camp. And I've just figured out that the time, this is me, like on Sunday night, I look ahead. I'm like, okay, Wednesday, nature camp. I make sure that I have a travelable breakfast and lunch on nature camp days. Where like the rest of the days, I make them, I make pancakes and bacon and whatever on the spot. I cook lunch on the spot. But for those days, it's like I need to make sure, whether it's the night before, am I making egg bites or whatever I'm making, or preparing or buying, is this going to be, and then I'll think in my head, okay, I mean, we'll do Starbucks drive-through, no shame in my game, once or twice a month. If it needs to happen, then that's what's happening on Wednesday, but I know that on Sunday because I've sat down and I've looked at the week. So even those types of things, because otherwise if I don't do that, I've been in the pickle where I'm like, I'm driving around, oh my gosh, okay, they nap in 30 minutes, they haven't eaten, oh my, and then everything just feels very overwhelming. So...
And also, like, it's very applicable for stay-at-home moms, too, or even just working women. Like, if you look at your week and you're like, okay, we have a lot of commitments Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Maybe there's, like, back-to-back. We have stuff in the morning and the afternoon, but, like, we don't really have anything going on Monday through Wednesday. That might not really – you might want to shift some things around. Like, you don't want everyone to feel – your family, right? Like, maybe you're going to feel really overstimulated by doing so much, so many days in a row. But then like really bored if you guys don't have any plans Monday through Wednesday. So like really kind of holistically viewing it and saying, hey, does this work? Or have I overcommitted myself? Do I need to take a step back? Like, how's everything feeling for this week? So you don't get overwhelmed when it's Sunday and you're like, why are the kids a mess? Like, why is it? And it's like, oh, because we've done way too much.
Yes. So this goes into, I'm like looking in the cameras, making sure I feel like people can see my bra on the camera. Sorry.
I can't see it.
Okay. This reminds me back to the tendencies. And if you haven't taken the quiz, you can go online, go to GretchenRubu.com, take your quiz. It's like a couple questions and it will pop out your tendency, which, by the way, you're a questioner.
Yes.
I don't know if we said this, and I'm an upholder. So I always like talking to people who have a different tendency than I do. Where was I going with this? Okay, so looking at your week holistically, and some of those weeks, and it could be for a stay-at-home mom, it could be for a working mom, it could be for a working woman. I think this is applicable to everybody. This conversation should be applicable to everybody. If you get to the end of the week and you feel so burnt out and just done and depleted, and to me, I'll look, because it happens to me even as an upholder, I'll look back and I'll think, okay, where something went wrong.
Yeah.
I didn't do something right here. And for me as an upholder, that's my little box, it's very easy for me to say no to plans, to things, to people. No, I'm not doing that. I can't do it. My mom makes this joke. We laugh about this because there was this is not when obviously it was my husband and I were on a break, but this very wonderful, eligible bachelor was like asking me, he's like, hey, I want to take you on this date. And I had a spray tan. And I was like, no, like I'm not missing my spray tan. Like that's just what I do on Sundays. I can't go on a date with you on Sunday. Like that's just how my brain works. Like we'd laugh about this, but.
Yeah, you're like my husband.
It's a great thing now because now that man's not my husband. I have my husband. But you know what I mean? Like it's just very, like I'm not saying, okay, I'm going to cancel my spray tan because this man can only go on a date on Sunday. That's just a poor example. Sorry, Michael. But like that's just how my brain works. And so even now, especially with kids too, it's like if you invite me to something between the hours of, this and this, like no, it's no. And I don't care if it's Christmas or what. Like we're not going because my kids are napping. So that's my tendency. But I think with an obliger, might run into this more because they say, yeah, like, oh, I should go to this, or I feel obligated to go to this. And then it weighs heavy on them.
It's a huge problem.
And so, I mean, I guess for me, that doesn't resonate with me.
Yep.
But you probably have clients or people that you work with where they're taking on too much.
I have so many people that fall into this category because there's two things that are interesting about obligers. Like they really respond well to other people's expectations of them and not their own. So they really like accountability. So it works really well with a coach because they really like the external support, right?
So maybe if you're an obliger, you need Alex.
It's helpful.
By the way. Yeah.
So the thing that we have to work on with these people is really figuring out what you want your life to look like and really getting close to that. Like, this is exactly what I want my life to look like. And this is what I'm actually doing. And then when you find a discrepancy, because there always is, because obligers are more likely to say yes to things because other people want them to do it, not because it really lines up with what their values are. And when you find a discrepancy, it can be really hard to face that because then you have to say no to somebody, you have to disappoint people. And so we do honestly role play, like practice.
You with your clients?
Yes. We say and I could recommend it for anyone, like practice with your husband, right? Like we will role play one client having to tell her clients that she can't see them late at night anymore because it's messing with her whole sleep and everything else, right? And so we'll role play exactly how that's going to go, how that's going to feel. But then we'll also make sure that it's connected to a reason bigger than herself. Because if she's saying, I'm canceling clients for my own well-being, that doesn't resonate very well with her because then she's going to feel selfish. It just doesn't matter as much. She's not going to commit to it. But if it's I need to do this because it's important to my husband that we have time together at the end of the night. Or
it's tied to somebody else.
You have to mentally, it's just the way so I guess taking a step back, I believe in systems for everybody, but the way that you talk to yourself about them or the things that you look out for are going to be different based on the type of person you are. So
interesting. Yeah.
For her, it's we're going to get creative about why you're doing things for you. I'm going to wake up and work out in the morning early, not because I'm selfish, not because of me, but because I want to show my kids that it's important to be healthy.
Yes.
It's outside of you.
Or finding a workout buddy.
Yes. Accountability.
And the person, you find someone who works out and now you're going with them. And so if you cancel on the class, you're going to feel badly, not because of your own self, but because you canceled on.
You let somebody else down.
You let somebody else down. I know that specific to the obliger, hiring a personal trainer is if you can't find a buddy or people that can afford to do a personal trainer, because they're so oh my gosh, I can't let that person down. They're going to be so disappointed in me.
It's that accountability. I have clients that will literally text me every single morning and let me know whether they did their morning routine. Because during the 90 days that we're working together, they're trying to solidify these routines. And it's easier when they know that they're going to tell me. And so it's okay, she's invested in this too. I need to do this because I know that I'm going to be texting her and letting her know whether I did it or not.
Yeah. If you're listening and you need an accountability buddy, we're here. Email me, DM me. Because I think, too, for stay-at-home moms, well, I don't know. I guess there might be two camps. I think one, is just from the stay-at-home moms that I speak to, they do get an overwhelming amount of just things to do, that they end up not finding time for themselves. And then similarly, I feel like I did a lot, but then I did nothing at all, sort of a thing. And so figuring out a way to create the system, step one, and then two, figuring out a way that it works mentally for you and where you can have accountability and keeping everything on track.
Yes.
Okay, number one, create systems. Number two, big picture. No, sorry. Number one, task management.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, did I say that? Task management. Number two, big picture.
Plan your week.
Plan
in
your
advance.
week.
Yeah.
Look at your month holistically. Look at your week holistically.
Yeah.
Number three
is getting to the daily, and that is a morning routine. And I think everybody can benefit from that. Because if you're waking up right before your commitments start, whether it's like if you're waking up because the kids woke you up, or you're like rolling out of bed and jumping on a Zoom call for work, or like stuffing a few eggs in your mouth before your call.
My anxiety. Like thinking about that gives me anxiety.
I used to be this person and it didn't work. It's so different when you start your day that way versus when you start it intentionally.
Mm-hmm.
Or another really big one is social media. A lot of people will wake up and grab their phones and scroll. And what's happening there? The first thing you're doing is you're like looking at other people's lives. You're reading emails. You're getting sold things. Like you're getting ads on social media. Whatever it is, it's like all outside of you. It's all like comparing yourself, things to buy, all of that. It's really different if you wake up, you get out of bed, you do your like morning affirmations. You do a 5-minute meditation, whatever works for you. You move your body. You're filling yourself up. Like you're doing something for you first. And that is like the way that you're setting the tone for the day. And then you're already feeling good when it's time to go into your work meeting, or it's time to wake the kids up for school or get them ready for the day. So I think what that morning routine looks like can vary for everybody. Like it's probably going to be a lot more reliable for somebody that doesn't have young kids and somebody that does. But I think it's really important to make sure you're setting yourself up for a successful day first.
You know what's interesting about that? I just realized this about myself. I wasn't generally someone who, I've always been someone who wakes up early because I usually have early morning meetings and I need to have myself situated before I get to the meeting or before my kids wake up or whatever. But now recently, obviously, more of my business and what I do in this brand that I'm creating is on social media. So it was not something I used to just jump onto social media, but now it's like I'm excited because I'm like, okay, what am I going to post? What am I going to talk about? So I will grab and jump on. But you know what I realized? Exactly what you're saying. It'll be some negative comment. It'll be, or even a positive comment. But whatever that outside influence is dictating the direction of my day, whether positive or negative, whether it's whatever it is, that comment or that post or that whatever DM is now dictating my day. Like not my whole day, but like dictating the kickoff of my day. And I thought, you know what? I don't want to leave that to other people. Good, bad, or indifferent. If it's something negative, then I'm stewing on it and I'm like, people are idiots. Like, I'm just like now thinking that. Or if it's positive, then I'm thinking, oh my gosh, okay, well, that type of content really resonated with people. People should hear more about but still it's clouding my brain and I'm not taking the time to think about just me being in my own presence, my kids, my family, which is where I really want to be in the morning. Clear and having that clarity and then jumping into the day. So I think it's so important. It's so hard and it seems silly, but it's not. It's
a big deal.
It's a big deal to have your own thoughts and intentions dictate how your day goes, not somebody else.
Or
another brand or company or
positive
whatever.
Or negative. Like it doesn't really matter, but it's not coming from you. And it can be really hard to break that habit. And that's again where you kind of get like creative based on your tendency. But I'll have some clients that I recommend a physical alarm clock in their room so that their phone isn't anywhere near them because it's too tempting to like grab your phone to turn off your alarm and then you're already on it. So easy to scroll. It's just like, how can we get creative? Use a physical alarm clock. Don't even pick up your phone until you've completed the things that you want to complete.
And you know what? It's not even social media because when I think about it, emails.
Totally.
If I get an email and then the email, again, positive or negative, it might be like, you've gotten 50% off at Neiman Marcus. Now I'm like,
shopping.
Ooh, okay, wait a minute. Okay, so then my day, you know what I mean? Like it just, your thoughts then get generated to something outside of your own self.
And it's other people's priorities, right?
Yeah.
It's like Neiman Marcus wants you to shop. So now all of a sudden you're like structuring your day around Neiman Marcus's priority. And it's not like Yeah, because it frees up so much mental energy.
And this is for everybody.
This is for everyone. So you don't have to remember everything in your mind anymore.
Number 2, looking at your week, your month holistically. What do you need to do?
Yep.
Number 3,
get a morning routine for you.
Get a morning routine. And so let's talk about that a little bit more. We know what not to do.
Yep.
We know not to jump on our phones.
Mm-hmm.
I think I wish I remember the stat. People aren't going to like this, but for working people, there was like some statistic that was ridiculously high, like 80% of women who wear makeup, even a little bit, even if it's like 2 minutes of something, like are 80% more successful in their career than women who don't wear makeup at all.
Oh, yeah.
And then there was another one about stay-at-home moms, like even if you just literally getting dressed and putting on some mascara, how like those women reported a positive day or a happy day, like, you know, astronomically more than women who didn't. So
Yes.
I think when we know that type of thing, even for me, because sometimes I'm like, I'm not even going to leave the house today. But I don't know. It just feels good. It feels better. And it kind of sometimes feels annoying in the moment, but then you don't regret it later. You know, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't.
like
Well, I don't.
transitioning into your day.
Mhm.
It's like regardless of whether you work or not, you still are going to be on. You're going to be doing things. And it's like taking those 5 minutes to be like, okay, I'm no longer like sleeping and restful. Like I am turning on. I am now getting into mom mode. I'm now ready to do things.
Yeah.
And it's a big deal. I mean, the same thing with cleanliness. Like I hear a lot of people say like, the kids are young, so of course we're not going to have a clean house. You couldn't have a clean house. Everything's a mess. And it's like, I think things change, right? Like I have playrooms. It's chaos in there. I clean them periodically.
Mm-hmm.
But there's certain areas that I think it's really important to keep tidy. Like our kitchen, we clean every single night. And it's because your space around you, like what you see visually, really impacts your mind. Like if I'm trying to work in a cluttered office.
Or sleep in a cluttered room.
Sleep in a cluttered room or cook in a place where like everything's a mess. Am I going to want to cook or am I just going to want to DoorDash go eat out?
Mm-hmm.
For sure. The other, because it's too overwhelming to be in that. So I think being aware of things that really trigger other habits is important.
I think too, and this would maybe be my challenge for people listening. Well, let me back up. I think a lot of this too coincides with decision fatigue.
Mm-hmm.
It all kind of goes hand in hand. The burnout, decision fatigue, creating systems. Yes. I feel like they're all interconnected. So going to the cleanliness thing or the messy thing. My way, I'm not like the clutter or like the toys and stuff don't really bother me. Especially throughout the day, I'm like, the kids had a great day. At the end of the day, then I'll go back and pick up. But my husband, it drives him absolutely bananas. He'll walk in and he's like, this house looks crazy. I'm like, there's just like Legos on the floor. Like to me, it's not. But like figuring out what that is for you.
Yes.
Because for him, it's like he can't do anything else until the house is clean. Me, it doesn't bother me. His path is to pick one day for a couple of hours, or pick a morning for a couple of hours, and he just cleans it. Like he needs to bolt clean.
Mm-hmm.
For me, my system is if I see this pair of shoes that are in the living room, and I know they need to go to the bedroom, next time I go to the bedroom, I'm going to pick them up. If I'm not going to the bedroom, I'm not going to like go out of my way. But I think for me personally, stuff just ends up getting where it needs to go by the end of the day because I'm doing it.
Always
so maybe even just creating your system for that. Like what resonates with you? Because it might not resonate with you to just sit and bolt clean. Like that might feel overwhelming.
Awful.
Or picking up little things and you might be like, my brain just doesn't work like that. So what are your thoughts? Like even on that, because I mean, that's for everybody. That's for like whether you have kids or not. You just get like shit all over your house. I mean, I don't know. Like stuff just gets,
Yeah. And that's a really good example. That's why I said like there's 3 core ones that everybody I think could benefit from. But ones like your system for cleaning, I think are very personal. But it's you just to like what you said, like you understanding what works for you and being realistic about it. I mean, I gave you the kitchen example for us. Like when we finish eating, we are cleaning the kitchen. I say we, my kids bring their plates to the
Yeah.
sink, but like the kitchen is being cleaned. They know we're not playing, we're not going to bathroom, not doing anything else until like dishes are done and the kitchen's cleaned. It is how we do it. That is what works for us as a family. That doesn't work for everyone, but it's like finding something that's repeatable that you feel really good about that works for you.
Yeah.
I think is important, instead of just saying like, oh, it's just not going to happen. I hate the mess. It drives me crazy, but it's just going to have to be.
Mm-hmm. I'm curious what you think about this. I've called them universal truths. I posted about them before, but for me, in order to alleviate decision fatigue, I just, and again, I feel like depending on your tendency, this might not work for you, but maybe there's some variation of it. A big one for me is if you ask me to hang out between the hours of, 12 and 2 and whatever, it's a no. It just is. I'm not moving nap time. It's just an easy no.
Strong boundary.
And then I don't even have to think about it. I don't have to say, well, do we want to go to so-and-so's birthday party? It's like, it's at 1 p.m. and it doesn't work for us,
Yeah.
It's a no. Another one is Wednesday nights, we always eat out. It just is, because Wednesdays our house gets clean.
Yep.
Wednesdays we eat out. It's just, or one night that I don't have to think. And then on Sunday, usually I'll kind of think ahead. This sounds good, or maybe we go here, go there, whatever. And then my other one is on Sundays, unless it's like a very serious, a gala or something, I don't wear makeup. I don't do my hair. I don't do my makeup. I wear comfy clothes. The reason that is because I was finding that that's just what I like. It's like refreshing at the end of a busy week. And then it's very easy. Like I have book club Sundays or whatever going on Sundays. It's just my thing. It's like I'm comfortable in this. This is what I've chosen to do. If I go to book club, I don't wear makeup. I don't know. It's the littlest thing, but it just feels like less of a decision fatigue. I don't have to think of a cute outfit to wear to book club because I go in my comfy, like I'll go in leggings and whatever. So what do you think about having, like, do you see that, like, would that work for people, or is that very specific?
Well, those are very specific, but I think that is literally the whole reason behind systems, is because it reduces decision fatigue, because you have a plan and you know what's going to happen. Whether it's laundry, you know when you're doing laundry because you have a system. Whether it's, for us, we eat out every single Friday night. It's exciting. We love it. We go to the same place.
You go to the same place every single time.
Yeah, Mario's. It's like the worst food. It's like loud, but it's quick. It's delicious, even though it's like not healthy.
Yeah.
But we eat healthy all week. And so we all look forward to it. It's like a big win.
Yeah.
And we don't think about it. It just is. Yeah. And every Sunday, it's like just is that we are going to go grocery shopping. It just is. We don't have to like plan it or think about it. It's always there. And the beauty of having systems in place is your brain has to use less energy because it's just doing things. It isn't having to think or to plan. It takes way less willpower. Like because I wake up at the same time every morning and I work out and I do my thing, it takes a lot less willpower than somebody that's like sometimes sleeping in and then sometimes deciding to work out and thinking about it and like wondering whether or not they're going to actually work out. It's very different. And so I think whatever your system is, whether it's on Sundays, this is like how I chill and this is how I relax and I don't put on makeup, or, on Sundays we grocery shop, whatever it is, that is the power of systems, is that you don't have to think as hard.
For people listening who want to implement systems but have nothing going on, like right now everything is just chaos, do you think there is, or do you know if there is a transition phase of saying, okay, I'm going to give this a go. I'm going to try the task management system. Okay, I'm kind of fumbling on it. What does that transition period look like for somebody who doesn't have anything in place? Or even when you take on a new client and you kind of are getting them ramped up or looking at their week holistically, is it like, okay, is there any hesitancy, or is there any, does that make sense?
It's going to be really different for the person. Like if I'm taking somebody on as a client, like they're going to have my support. Like we have a very structured program that we're following. Like we're implementing the task management system.
You're like guiding them.
I'm giving them, videos. I'm holding them every step of the way. Like this is clearly the plan. That's really different than somebody who's like not familiar with systems in their life. They're kind of just like living day to day. And they don't have support in implementing different systems in their life. Like I wouldn't say go download Asana and start there. I would say start really small. Maybe just plan your meals on Sunday. Just get an idea for your dinners, just your dinners, and then go grocery shopping for those meals and then try to stick to it that week. Like pick one thing. Or maybe it's laundry. Maybe you hate that your laundry gets really like piled up. I don't know. So it's like, okay, I've decided I'm going to run one load each day. I don't know how many kids you have.
Mhm.
If you have a lot of kids,
Yeah.
I know we run a lot of loads. So,
Yeah.
you start small and you follow it for a week and you see how you feel. And then you keep it going and you add one or two more.
Mm-hmm.
If you need like a big overhaul, you're looking to really like overhaul your life and you want support, that's when you reach out to me.
Then we go to Alex.
Or
yeah.
It's going to be pretty. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. This just popped into my head right now. We're talking about like cleaning and laundry. You know what I hated? And I don't know why it was like a mental load for me when our towels didn't match. And then it would be like, well, these go in the guest room and then these go in the kids' room. And then these hand towels aren't for they're for the bathrooms, not the kitchen or whatever. I had a lady one time who gave me, this is when I was moving out of my, can't remember, I was doing a move, so I hired like a professional organizing lady, and she said for every single bathroom, it is the same white towel. Mm-hmm. And it is something that's easy. It could be your 100% Turkish cotton, but it is from Amazon, so then or from wherever, Target or wherever, so when they're done, if one gets lost or old, you can go and get it. And it has helped my life so much. Like my kitchen towels are all the same black kitchen towel. And then they get gross and we throw them away. And I bulk order it on Amazon. And I don't know why even something like that. And I didn't realize that or like lost socks is another one for me. And when they don't match, it like I literally makes my skin crawl. So I'm like, we all get KB socks.
Yeah.
Yours are black, mine are white. That's it. That's how we do it.
Yep.
And then they all just match.
Exactly.
And like little things like that. So I think too, if you're at home and you're listening and you're like, I'm feeling chaotic and overwhelmed, maybe figuring out little things, or even when they come about, like put them down in your digital non-handwritten planner.
Well, if your handwritten planner works, then it works.
But maybe it doesn't. Maybe I can even optimize my life even more. What can I accomplish with a sauna? I don't know. But you know what I mean? Like little things like that were just driving me absolutely bananas. Yeah. And now I do look around. I'm like almost conscious of like, what is that? What is that pain point that's just annoying me that I can fix in not a lot of money and in 2 minutes? And I can just have this, like washing bottles is a big, like we're out of that. Well, we'll be in it soon, but we're currently out of that phase. But I was washing two babies worth of bottles, and we were constantly running out of dish soap, the specific non-toxic dish soap that I like. Subscription.
Yeah, like, that's what I was going to say.
I don't want to freaking think about this anymore. Diapers and wipes. Subscription.
Auto bill pay.
Like auto bill pay.
Anything you can automate.
Yes.
Do it.
Automate everything. But even that I think would take someone like sit down and think about it. Yeah. Right. And like maybe create a list of like where can I automate. Mm-hmm.
And you have to figure out the right frequency, like
figure out your frequency.
You need,
which even with the diapers, it did take me. I'm like so concerned that people can see into YouTube. You're welcome. Figuring out what that frequency looks like, and it took me like a month or two. I'm like, oh, I got too many of or I ran out of Layton's diapers. I was running to Target to get extra. Okay, now I know I need it like a week earlier or whatever. But now I don't think about it, and it just comes. And as I'm dwindling down on diapers, the new box comes and. Anywhere that I can offload or offset things like that.
It just makes anything you can do to make your life easier. Mm-hmm. Like we use Butcher Box for all of our meat. It's like, I love it. We order it once a month. I know we eat a ton of meat. And so it's always in the freezer. We plan around it. And then grocery shopping isn't such a big thing because we already have like the main proteins covered. And so we're just adding things that we know go with it.
Butcher Box is a good one.
Yeah, it's just any way you can simplify is better.
I think I have a code for Butcher Box, by the way. If you want 20% off, I'll put it in the show notes. Because I was just thinking about, I'm always on the hunt for ways that I can simplify and like ease our lives. Okay, well, this is great. This is fantastic. We're going to have so many follow-up questions. If you do have follow-up questions or need tips or tricks or accountability partners, I'll be your accountability partner. But if you need more structured help, Alex is an amazing resource. And she does this for women. She just does this for corporations. This is her jam. This is what she knows to do and knows how to do really well. So thank you so much.
This
is great.
It's
This is
always good to come on and
super-
talk to you.
Yeah, I love having you on. People are going to love this. Remind everybody where we can find you.
Yes, you can find me on Instagram at Alex Payetta.
Okay, which we'll have in the show notes.
Yep, that's the best way to find me.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Alex does have a freebie. We talked about this on episode 1, but go download the freebie. It's how to get 10 hours back
In your week. Mm-hmm.
And is that applicable to everybody, or is that tailored toward working moms?
It is
corporate
not
moms?
tailored towards working moms,
Okay.
and it can be helpful to everybody.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I have a freebie that I don't often post about, but I basically did a bunch of research on 30-minute meals or less, easy meals that I could make in about 30 minutes that just weren't a big task, and I could make them with 2 small children. So I have like 100 recipes. You can go on my website, LorissaViolet.com, and you can download it. And I have it organized from easy, medium, hard. Easy, medium, medium-ish. Hard being like maybe more ingredients than you would normally have, but all the way down to just like quick, super quick. Like I have 5 minutes and I need a good meal. So download that, because then you can kind of take those. I will take from it even still and like pick and choose and incorporate it into my week of meals. And then I don't have to think about it.
I'm going to check that out.
Check it out.
We do a lot on repeat, so we could use some more meals
Yeah.
for the rotation.
I know. I was making the same stuff over and over again, and then I just started getting creative and
Yeah.
trying out stuff. So I've been forgetting to do this, but I love it, is trash or treasure. What's your trash? What's your treasure for the week?
Okay, so my trash for the week is a little controversial.
Heck yeah.
It's not that controversial. It's people that put
Come on.
up their Christmas lights, but they don't turn them on until after Thanksgiving. I don't understand it.
Do you wish they just wouldn't put them up at all?
No, I wish they would just turn them on.
Oh,
I get so excited. We walk around the neighborhood. We see all
Yeah.
these like amazing light setups. And then we come back at night to see them and they're not on because people just have this thing in their mind.
do you think it's a mistake?
No. I know a ton of people that specifically wait to turn on their lights until after Thanksgiving.
Get out of here.
Oh, you haven't heard about
no.
this? This is a very common thing. And it's
Well,
like
I know people say like, "Oh, I don't decorate until after
after
Thanksgiving."
Thanksgiving.
But like, I'm not. That would be like if I put my tree up and then I'm like, okay, I'm not plugging this bad boy.
That
in
is what
until I have it.
happens.
Oh my
that
gosh,
and
no.
it's so common. And it's like, fine, maybe if it's an electricity bill budgeting thing, but that's not it for most people. It's just like I have to wait
Like
till
a mental.
Thanksgiving. But it's not like
Turn
you
'em
have turkey
on.
decorations up and you're swapping them out.
No,
It's
turn
just
'em
like,
on.
turn 'em on.
It's been Christmas since November 1st.
We were so disappointed last night. These people would put up this like amazing light show
yeah,
and then it
that's
wasn't
bothersome.
on. You know. Anyway,
Okay.
that's my
I love that.
That's my
Okay, what's
trash.
your treasure?
Okay, my treasure goes to me this week. I was thinking about this on the way here. I am pregnant, so I'm in my first trimester. And my kids aren't sleeping. They're waking up at 5 a.m. and they're going to bed late, but I have still stuck to my morning routines. And I'm really proud of myself because
I'm really proud of you too.
it's really easy to come up with all the justification. Like, I deserve rest. Like, my mind goes wild. I'm just still doing it. I feel better and it feels really good.
I'm proud of you too. Maybe that will trickle into my trash and treasure. I'm pregnant. Everyone knows I'm pregnant. And I have the 2 little babies. And I don't have, this is not common knowledge, but Ashley, everyone knows and loves Ashley, but she's not with us as much anymore. And my husband has been out of town. He just got back. But he was out of town for, like a week. And I was just solo doing
A
it.
lot.
Which, you know what, which is not bad at all. If I wasn't pregnant, it would be like a walk in the park. Like, you know, it's great. But being pregnant, it just adds a whole nother level of like, I'm tired, I'm irritable, I'm hungry. It's just a whole different thing. I can't carry both. Like, everyone wants to be carried. It's hard for me. It hurts my back, you know, the whole thing. So my treasure, I'm gonna give my treasure to myself because it just was good. It was good for me to be with the boys. Of course, we miss my husband. It was such a good reminder of how much we miss him, but
Yeah.
he crushed it. He had a phenomenal, he had a conference out in Vegas, so he crushed it. But I will say my trash is I slept like any chance that I could get, I was like, okay, close my eyes. And I did. A couple days I woke up early. The boys they sleep until like 7:30. So a couple days I'm like, just wake up, at least just like put on some mascara, brush your hair, like the basics.
Yeah.
But there were a couple days I was like, they will be in my alarm clock. And it does feel good in the moment, because I'm like, I just need these like couple extra hours of sleep. But like in the long run, it doesn't feel good, because then I'm like, okay, everyone come into the bathroom with me so I can change. Okay, now this is annoying because everyone,
Yeah,
it's
it
just
makes
never
it harder.
worth it. Like it
I
seems
know.
worth it, but it's not worth it.
That's the problem.
Like
In
if
your
I would
mind,
just
it's
wake up
working.
5 minutes early, even 5 minutes, 10 minutes, you don't even need that much.
I know.
I'm not going to go do a full workout,
Yeah.
But because I'm alone. I mean, I guess you do it in the garage though, huh? So
I only work out at home.
Yeah.
For that reason.
So I guess it's my double trash and treasure.
That's a good one. And I would also say a week, even not pregnant with 2 kids, would be impressive and deserve a
You think
treasure.
so?
Yeah, I feel like it's a lot with 2 kids. I don't know how firewives do it. I always admire firewives or single moms that do it all alone. I think it's a ton.
Oh gosh, I had like this whole new respect for single moms. It's so crazy. Now I could get into a controversial topic. I absolutely firmly believe the best household is with a mom and a dad, and dads are so amazing and wonderful and have their place, and I love my husband. He's so helpful. But I know so many single moms, and a lot of them aren't single moms by choice. They don't want to be single moms, and they just frickin' show up and do it all the time, and they work and they figure out how to take care of the kids and they run the household. And anyways, I had a whole new appreciation because I'm still working, like not, I'm like working.
Yeah.
I like definitely toned down the week because I knew I was gonna be tired, but in that could go back to our planning. Like it was a whole new level of planning, because I'm like, I'm by myself. One of you doesn't walk. One of you does but wants to be carried. Like I
probably wouldn't have gone so well did you not have your systems in place and your planning systems, for sure. So like back to the original conversation.
Yeah, back to our original conversation. All of this made possible by having a plan.
Yeah.
Even down to bath time, like dinner, bath, bed. I knew that my relaxing time was going to be having them in the bath, because I put you in the bath, they'll sit and play there for 45 minutes. I can sit on the toilet and just
that's lovely.
sit here. Okay, everyone's happy. Like I'm just sitting, like even that is.
Yeah.
But if I don't plan out like pre-bath and dinner and everything, then it's rushed and then I don't get that time.
And chaotic.
So having that system is
so important.
Yeah.
And see, bath time feels like a war in my house. So it's like.
Really?
Oh, yeah. The kids are fighting. It's splashing everywhere. It's just a whole thing.
No, that is such. I don't know
let's
how
get through
I
bath.
got so freaking lucky with these kids. They'll just sit and play. And then I even have this as a system, people. I empty out the water. So it's an empty bathtub. Okay. No one's left in a bathtub with water. But I'll take the little one out first. My older one will sit and just play in the empty tub with the toys, like wet and soapy. And I'm like, great, hang out there. And I can hear them, like everything's in close proximity. But like that's my system. So I get the little one out first. He gets jammies. He gets, his situation. He goes in his crib, door shut. He's in bed.
Oh, wow. That's impressive.
Then I get the older one, and he'll sit and play in there for like 10, 15 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah. Then I get him out, and then so even that's like.
And this is why systems have to be customized. The last time I tried that with my oldest, I left him in the bath like that. I came back in. He'd thrown a fish that wanted to go swimming in the toilet. The plumber was out the next day because they're, so it's just, you got to know your kids
people
in the situation.
You got to know your people.
That was a poor idea.
Yeah. Mine will sit there, and I'll hear him, and he's like talking and singing and like, playing in there or whatever. But that system is like.
But you have it down, and you know it works. It's
kind of funny. Now we're jumping back into the podcast topic, but my husband, I did say to him, I forgot what he was doing, but he was getting the kids out of the car, and he got Evander, the little one who doesn't walk, doesn't stand, got him out first, and was like, well, now what do we do? Now I got to get Layton. I'm like, yeah, you got to get the one that stands out first, because then the one that stands can stand next to you.
It's little things.
Like the little things.
See, I always unload the car first. It's like the kids are fine in the driveway. I got to take out the things that need to get out into the house, because if like I'm unloading them and then they're in the front yard while I'm trying to unload bags, like definitely they're darting in the street. They're doing things that I
Smart.
can't watch. So it's
So you're like,
Yeah.
you're
you're
sit.
safe in the car.
You're
so you
safe.
sit. Yeah.
Groceries out, bags out, whatever.
Yeah, and
now
then we can
it's
all
like
get in.
an assembly line. That's
Yeah.
smart. Yeah.
Systems.
Create your systems, people. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do a little giveaway. If you create a system, it could be small. It could be that. It could be like figuring out your groceries and kids. Or if you're not a mom and you figure out some little system, post it, tag us. I want to see them all. And
I'd
you'll
love
enter
that.
into a giveaway. We'll come
Cool.
up with a good giveaway.
Cool.
Because I want to see other people's systems. I feel like also seeing other people, like these are just ours, but seeing other people's, whether you're a mom, a stay-at-home mom, working mom, not a mom at all, whoever you are, post your system. If you come up with a little thing, or even a little thing where you're like, you know what, this was a mental load in my head, black towels versus white towels or whatever, post about it, tag us, let us know, and we'll share them because I think these can be inspirational to other people.
Well, yeah, it gives you good ideas.
Yeah.
I love
For
that
sure.
idea.
Okay. I like it too.
Cool.
I'm so excited. Okay. Thank you, everybody. This was amazing. Talk soon. See you on the next one.